I swear Fern's gonna kill Methode one of these days. She's just gonna kill her. Like one day they'll wake up after camping out and they'll just find Methode like she's dead. Like Fern's just like strangled her in the middle of the night and nobody even knew about it. They just think like a demon came by and just killed her. The amount of like jealousy in this episode is so good. I mean, they did it in the first season as well. Like Methode was like hugging Frieren and like testing something on her, and then Fern's like, "Stop it, get away from her. She's mine." And it's so funny how they're like painting it out like Fern sees Frieren as being like this adult that shouldn't be treated that way. Yet she does it all the time. Like, it's like, Fern, does it? You do it as well. You do it as well. I love it. I love that kind of stuff. But anyways, episode 35, really happy episode, obviously. Getting more into Gnau and seemingly how he is, I think in his own mind, lost his humanity. He's not acting like he thinks people should act in situations like this. Like, I've done this for so long. Don't be like me. They finally get into what he told Methode in the previous episode, don't become like me. Don't become this person that is obsessed with fighting. This person that finds joy in fighting. People that are typically sent to the north, they have that mindset. Now, it does kind of bring up the question mark. I mean, we're getting into the episode already. I might as well get into it. Bringing up the question mark as we get into the opening of this episode, why did Sere send Methode specifically? That's going to be the key question mark, and I'm really kind of curious going forward what that's going to be, because we open up the episode and yes, they state that Gnau's partner has died, and yes, to confirm what we kind of got a hint of in the previous episode, it is this specific demon. This demon that they're now confronting right now killed Gnau's partner. And it gets into later on how Gnau believes that this individual, his partner, was like too good. He was a too good person. He was a goody two-shoe. He was a nice person. He drew people in with his aura and his kindness and how he acted. His personality was just infectious. And so everybody liked to be around him. And unfortunately, he at some point, well, not unfortunately, it's very fortunate. He was saving some kid and he got himself killed. And I think in Gnau's mindset, it's unfortunate because he did this in order to save this kid, we weren't able to defeat the demon, thus prevent it from killing more. I think that's a very interesting conundrum to get into. It's really it's the trolley thing. It's the whole trolley conundrum thing. Like, do you pull the lever if it's going to save multiple people because it's going to kill one person still? He sacrificed himself to save a child, and they failed to kill the demon. And now, what are we seeing right now? They're in this area, Gnau's homeland, that has now been massacred because they didn't stop that thing back there to save that one kid. It's an unfortunate thing there. But anyways, getting back to the scene with Sere has chosen Methode to go with Gnau in order to go, hunt down these demons. And what Gnau gets into later on with that little flashback is, you seem like a good person. Do you think you're a good person? I knew a good person. That was my partner. He, drew in people, yada, yada, yada. Typically, and this is the interesting part, typically the people they send to the north to kill these demons are people that like to fight. People that are obsessed with fighting. People that, as they kind of put it, people that would rather go fight than actually have their 3 meals that day. Like, that's how much they want. They, rather than, the usual wanting to consume food to stave off starving, they'd rather go fight. That's how much they enjoy it. Why Methode? Why was she chosen to go with him? It begs the question mark. What was the choice for her? Gnau says, it's certainly weird. Why you and not Ubel? Which, yes, all of us Ubel fans are going, yeah, hell, we could have had like so far 2 episodes with Ubel, and instead we're getting, I mean, I like Methode. I mean, she's damn hot. But I'd rather have Ubel. We'd rather have Ubel than Methode. But yeah, that's a question mark. Why would they not send Ubel? Ubel would love to fight. If she could see some crazy abilities and whatnot, she's going to be there. Like, that's the thing that's like driving her, is to find abilities and mimic them or whatever. She would love to do this kind of stuff. Kill things? Hell yeah, she'd love to do that. Why Methode? The only thing I think of, and it kind of plays into that first scene with, Sere choosing Methode and saying, you're going to go with Gnau, you guys are going to go up north. At some point, Methode turns to Gnau and says, looking forward to working with you. And he's going, yeah, don't hold me back or whatever. And immediately, Sere's like, shake hands. Sere's having to say, shake hands, be bonded in a way, like make an agreement here, connect in some way. That's the interesting thing that I kind of seen from that, is this kind of a sense that I think Sere wants Methode to sort of do something for Gnau. But I don't know, though. I really don't know, because again, as we kind of seen with previous, the previous season with the whole exams and everything, they put a lot of emphasis on how these individuals are weird. Sense and Gnau and all these other like people that were heading it, these first classes that were heading it, they were seen as weird individuals. First class were seen as weird individuals. They, again, kind of gave up everything in their normality just to pursue magic. And so I don't really necessarily see that Sere is correcting that, because it's always been present, unless they're looking to change it in some way, or they see that Gnau has gone a bit too far and is wanting to reel him back in somehow and wants Methode to do that. The other thing, and I don't know that necessarily it's going to be it, the other thing is that perhaps nobody knows that Methode is actually, again, to what Gnau was saying, loves fighting. that secretly Methode loves fighting, and only Sere can see that. Only Sere sees this. And that could go to what happened during the exams. Because, and this is going to go to sort of what we're getting into with this episode and potentially the next episode, Methode is strong. I mean, she's a first class. She's a first class mage. Obviously, she's going to be strong. They even indicated in this episode, one of the demons said, there's something about her aura that's odd and interesting. I want to check it out. It's piqued my interest. So I want to fight this one, Methode. It kind of indicates that there's something special about her. And I think they've given a lot of hints to her being and to do with like auras and whatnot. But again, going back to the first class exam, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong here. I'm sure there's plenty of people that'll correct me in the comments. I'm pretty sure Methode fought the mimic Frieren. Because this was like a shocker moment, like, holy crap, Methode has to go against Frieren, and Frieren, we all know, is extremely powerful. And I think they implied that she did beat the mimic Frieren. I think it was sort of up in the air because they showed like the aftermath of the fight, like right at the moment that they killed the main mimic, and thus it was up in the air if she beat it or if the main mimic was destroyed and thus it went away. But either way, she would have had to hold her own. She would have had to hold her own against Frieren, the mimic, until they defeated that one way or the other. So again, she's powerful. Methode is really strong, but I kind of wonder if Sere, seeing what Methode did in there, and seeing that Methode likes to fight, loves to fight, and again, is extremely powerful, and that she's a perfect choice to send up there. And even if she likes to fight or not, she's still a very capable person. So anyways, that's the whole beginning segment there. Again, I'm kind of curious as to what will end up being the reasoning for Methode being chosen. Is it to help Gnau, or is it because she's really freaking strong? Which I think is going to be potentially both. It could be potentially both. But anyways, after that, we again have Gnau say, don't end up like me. And again, I think that's a lot to do with the fact that he just kind of feels that he's lost a lot of, humanity and whatnot. Don't become a fighter-obsessed person like me. We cut over to the meeting where they're discussing the 4 demons. Yes, note there, I noted there as well, 4 demons. So they figured out from kind of examining the area that there is 4 demons here, one being a demon general. And again, they already, can come to the conclusion that the one demon general is going to be this one that has the 4 arms, which we find out later on is named ? I forget, it's way down here, Revolte. Revolte is going to be this one general. And that was interesting. They kind of note the fact that, or at least Frieren notes the fact that many of these generals that have spent all their time working on a martial skill, hundreds of years, will eventually become so powerful that, yes, individuals like Eisen, even Eisen during the, their journey, some of the generals were more powerful than he was. I like that emphasis always given to the idea that Frieren's party, Himmel's party wasn't full of people that were all OP. They were strong, and they were very talented, but it's almost like they worked together so well, they overcame things. So even if, yes, Eisen couldn't beat any of these generals, them together formed a party that can hold each other and, cover each other's backs and potentially take down things. I mean, they took down the Demon King together. As a group, they took it down together. Yes, a lot of that had to do with Frieren and the whole idea of her hiding her capabilities so that she can strike at the very end, but I think it was like the entire party working together that made them special. Anyways, going back to the 4 demons. This was interesting because as we see in this episode, at some point we do say Revolte, and he's with 3 other individuals. Now, yes, the assumption is that the other 2, which we see attacking, Frieren and Frieren and Methode, those 2 for sure are going to be included in that list. The oddity is going to be that other one. The one that's just asking about, and I'm assuming it's the last one, the one that's asking about the humans. Why would they do that? What are they doing? It was an eccentric individual that wants to know about humans and asks why they do everything they do. They're curious about humans, seemingly showing that they have signs that their obsession as a demon is to learn more about humans. And even Rote points out there was once this demon that was similar to this person. Why would you care about what the humans do? Why would you care why they do things they do? We just want to kill them. But, of course, that does bring up that because there's 4 demons listed here, potentially this one other one that just wants to know about humans is going to be a combatant. That they will probably sneak in at some point during the fight. I don't know if it's going to be with, Methode, if it's going to be with, Fern and Frieren, or if it will be with Stark and Gnau. But anyways, coming back to here, yes, they have 4 individuals. They're, scoping it out. At some point, they go to leave. And as we have them go to leave, yes, we get the little scene with Revolte and the 3 demons where he mentions they're going to split up. Don't worry. I've been observing something for a while now, and I've observed the fact that humans don't like leaving behind corpses. They always stay there and for some reason and protect the corpses. It doesn't make much sense to me. Don't know why they do it. They do a lot of irrational things that don't make much sense. So whatever. But I'm going to use that to my advantage because I just want to kill them. Like typical with demons. I just want to kill them. I don't know why they do things. I'm talking like them for some reason just to kind of fool them. But yeah, I just want to, provoke them to do that. Which I think, based on, Gnau, obviously, I mean, this is an obvious thing. Which, yes, I think is why Gnau ends up doing what he does. When, everybody goes to leave, they go to the fort in order to, do that. Ends up splitting up, just like Revolte believes. At some point, yes, Stark says, okay, I'm going to stay here too. Stark even picked up on it as well, that there's a reason why Gnau's staying behind, and that is because, yes, this demon wants to draw this stuff out. And this goes to what was said in the previous episode. The question that Stark brought up to Gnau was, they eat bodies. The demons eat bodies. They always consume the bodies. And yes, even Gnau says, yeah, they even kill when they're not even hungry. That doesn't make any sense. None of what the demons do makes sense to humans. They're monsters. They're straight up 100% monsters. They defy logics of humans. They have no empathy. They have no care. They have nothing that tells them, I don't want this to die. They just kill. They study abilities. They test those abilities on humans. They kill humans endlessly. Even in this episode, they talk about the idea that some will forge weapons, and they will use those weapons to cause massive amounts of casualties of humans because why? They just want to test the weapon. That's all they care about. Humans are just dummies for them to slice up to see how many kills they can get with the weapon. They see no value in human lives or what they're doing as being destructive in any way. Which again goes to that old age-old argument about, is Frieren a good person for wanting to kill all demons? Yes, because of this. They are 100% so far portrayed as just absolute killing machines that have to be stopped for the sake of human lives. But again, they were questioning why were they leaving the bodies behind when they could have consumed them. There's the answer. And I think, again, Gnau picked up on that, but he didn't want to say anything, or it didn't click for him at the time. He knew that this Revolte, again, this person that he's fought before, was luring them. The bodies are there to lure people in. And so Gnau is taking the trap. He's taking the bait. He's going with it. And again, I think Stark picked up on it as well. I do like when they're separating, though. Stark's like, well, they can handle without a frontliner, too. And Frieren's like, I can only handle so much. Like, I love how, like, honest and brutally honest Frieren is. Like, it's just, like, you can pick up the fact that Stark wants to help out Gnau and sees that Gnau's going to need help and he's going to need some guarding or whatever, too. But no, Frieren's like, no, I could use you, Stark. I could use you, Stark. But you guys can flee. He can't. Okay, we'll go with this. But he makes a good point that Frieren and them can flee if there's a problem, whereas Gnau can't because Gnau wants to protect the dead. That all is left is dead, which is really kind of impactful, the conversation that we get after this, which is, yes, him pointing out once again, Stark, you're a good person. Good people don't live very long. And Stark kind of throws it right back at him. No, you're a good person too. Like what I'm seeing right here, you're obviously a good person. You're staying here for a bunch of dead bodies. Why would you do that? I couldn't stay to, guard a destroyed place. As we get that little flashback of him literally running away from his entire family and their entire village that is burning down. I couldn't do that. You're doing it right now. Looks like you're doing better than I am. But again, I don't think Gnau can accept that. And right here, obviously, he's doing that. He keeps pushing it back. No, all I've done is done everything in order to bring peace upon the Northern Lands. I've forsaken so many people. I've killed people. And I think this is what I deserved. I think I deserve to see this place destroyed as sort of a payback for all that. And sort of showing that this individual is sort of dead inside. Like he's seen so much death that he just doesn't even feel it anymore. He doesn't feel anything when he sees this entire village that he grew up in destroyed. The final message here. I've forsaken so many. What am I even doing? Like, it just feels like this individual is completely lost. And again, that could be what Sere was doing with sending Methode with him. Somebody that is gonna hopefully get him a little centered. Get him a little centered. But yes, while they're talking, we see the little scene with Frieren, Fern, and Methode. Hey, can I pet your head? No, it started out with Frieren talking about the fact that we could talk while we're walking. It helps with, us, building trust and formation. And yeah, Methode is just giggling over there and talking about how, oh, can I pet you? Sere doesn't let me pet her very long. And when she does, she gets really angry. No, she's a grown-up. You shouldn't be petting her on the head. Frieren, I have a book. What was it? It keeps the shell pieces when you crack an egg from falling into the food. It's like, what? That actually sounds like one of the most useful spells yet. Like, of all the spells, that one, I mean, the clean the clothes one was really good. I mean, that was a good still right there. But this one's really good as well. But yeah, that's enough for her to be able to head pat her. Can I hug you? Do whatever you want. I can do whatever I want. Fern's like, stop. It's so dorky. It was a dorky little bit there. So jealous, Fern. Before, yes, the demons have to interrupt it. I figured this was going to happen. I was like, I'm waiting for it. Something's got to interrupt this whole goofy shenanigans right here. Sure enough, the demons show up, start, filling the place with fog. The fog blocks their way to do mana detection, which pretty much leaves them open for attacks. Fern gets pulled away. Now, here's a note. Again, this is sort of two moments this happens. From the side of Frieren and Fern, they get separated off to the side here. Initially, Frieren has to save Fern from the initial attack. Methode gets out of there. Frieren gets out of there. Has to take Fern with her. And then later on, as they're sitting there, Frieren's like, okay, Fern, you take care of this. This is a job for first class. They hired you guys for this. You should be handling it. I'm not going to get involved. And Fern's like, no, I need your help. And sure enough, we see right here where Frieren has to point out, look out over there before Fern is able to stop an attack. Fern's like completely vulnerable right now. She's not seeing the attacks come in. Everything is being obviously clouded. Frieren's still picking up on it. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Frieren is used to combat like this. Like she's putting it, yes, it seems like this demon is very used to combat like this. They're attacking just like typical. Even getting the idea of flying. I love that little note there. Fern's like, isn't flying like a magic spell? Is walking an ability? Demons don't see it as like a magical spell. They're just used to it. They used to rule the sky. It's just like walking for them. All of them learn it. They don't see it as magic. So they'll all learn how to fly along with something else that they actually obsess with. But there's a lot here that this demon is showing that they are used to large area combat. Frieren is as well. Fern is not. So I'm kind of curious how this is going to play out. I think it is a lot to do with Frieren trying to boost Fern's confidence, get her out there, get her some actual experience, because Frieren's not going to always be there to save her butt. And I think she's trying to test her right now, trying to push her forward, because this is a fight that Fern can easily lose because she's not seeing what's coming at her right now. So we'll see. It seems like Frieren's very confident, or at least he's trying to give Fern some confidence, saying, look, you know all the fundamentals more than any of these first-class mages. You can handle this. You got this. You're much more stronger than him. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Fern did really, really well against that other demon from the previous season, Lugner. She did really well against him. So, again, with that situation, she was able to detect the magic. And so, again, it's probably just specifically because she can't see what's coming at her. We'll see. We'll see. Yes, over here we see Methode very briefly, dodge an attack from a blade from the other one. And yes, at the same time, Stark and Gnau end up running into theirs. Initially, though, yes, they had a little jokey moment where Stark comes with a midnight snack and is like, Methode would get mad if she finds out that I had a midnight snack. And Stark's like, oh, okay, well, it's more for me. Please don't tell Fern. I won't tell him. It looks like you have problems with yourself. Both have women problems right now, and they're journeying. But yes, bringing up the fact that there's this four-arm monster, which is not very common, thus meaning this demon's probably going to be the one that's killed his partner. They get into the blades that he actually forged or created with magic, which is the Divine Cleaving Swords, which is named after the blade that split the mountains during the mythical times. I'm curious if we'll ever get into that whole stuff there, but interesting little kind of back lore for the world itself. But yes, getting into, again, like I mentioned earlier, the idea of the demons themselves creating things and just killing to test it. Again, that shows that kind of lack of any care for lives. They just hunt. They just kill. They have to use this thing. That's all they think about. They're just wired to have to use this thing that they've created. But yeah, that's when Revolte shows up, and I love this so much. He shows up, slams down. Again, it mentioned the fact that the sword itself can be like lighter or sharper or heavier depending on how they want it. Stark initially blocks it before he... Gnau says, don't take the hits head on. And the thing's like, oh, you, I know you. I recognize you. Who are you? And Gnau's just like, all right, you ready, Stark? Like, Gnau's like not even caring to talk this thing. It's just trying to get them in a conversation like these demons typically do. Oh, you guys are supposed to start talking right now. So let's start talking a little bit. Again, drop your guard or something like that. Or maybe I can, tease you or taunt you or get you to do something with the language that I've learned in order to mess with you. And Gnau's just like, wait, you want me to introduce myself to Pest or something like that I'm about to, get rid of? It was great. It was great. But yeah, as we're fighting, interesting here, again, Stark's trying to deflect the attacks, can't take them head on, trying to protect Gnau. But at some point, Gnau's like, you don't have to protect me. I'm fine. I'm actually used to close range combat. And yes, at some point, starts doing some crazy flips and stuff like that. Jumps up in the air and summons these big old freaking crow wings, like, out of nowhere. And I'm like, okay, we're finally going to see what's, like, special about Gnau. Like, what's his special technique? And it seems like mobility with his wings. That's the only thing I can guess, which is honestly a really good thing. If he can get up in the air, get away from this thing, fly around, shoot down on this thing, that'll work. It hasn't really indicated that this thing, this Revolte, is even able to fly. It's a Lamia kind of thing. It looks very big and heavy, but they're probably using magic. Well, they're obviously using magic in order to fly, so weight might not be an issue for him. But either way, if he's able to be mobile in the air, as it kind of gives the indication here with the wings, could be really powerful. We'll see, though. I mean, I would assume that all the other mages that this Revolte has been fighting were probably going to be flying around as well. Gnau's partner might have been somebody that could take flight, so it might not be that much of an advantage, but we'll see what other abilities Gnau has and what makes him so, strong in close range. But good stuff, though. Looking forward to the next episode. Everything's kind of building up. I knew they weren't going to get fully into the fight. I'm like, we're running out of time. We can't get the entire fight in this one episode, so we'll have to wait until the next episode. But anyways, that's my thoughts on the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content and want to support the channel more, become a member. Until next time, take care.